Hello and welcome to our live dog agility workshop with Canine Connections. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you get some interesting ideas of what you can do at home with your dog, especially in times like at the moment with the COVID-19, keeping our dogs mentally stimulated as well as fit. This is really important, as well as keeping the connection between us and our dogs. So I'm Renee, and I run Canine Connections. We also do a lot of behavioural work, behaviour modification, obedience, as well as agility, rally-o, and sorry. As well as rally-o, which is a form of obedience, and everyday lifestyle classes. Just check and make sure this is all working. So this will be my psychic today. His name's Arlo, and he's one of the Bark Rescue dogs. So he hasn't done any of this stuff before. So it's going to be a bit of fun to show you what it's like to do it with a dog that hasn't done it before. So the first steps of introducing your dog to dog agility. So he's looking for a home. And lovely smart dog. And this is also a great way to keep him stimulated. He's quite a busy boy, quite full on, but doing this sort of stuff at home is taking the edge off of his behavioural problems that he might have outside the home. He gets quite excited with dogs, so we're just working on that. So hopefully this is all working okay. It says it's working, so alright, so that's a bit about me and Arlo. So what we're going to look at first is obviously rewards. Agility is all positive based, so we need to let the dogs know when they're doing the right thing and when they're progressing with what we want. So with Arlo, we're using a marker, so it's just like clicker training, but you've always got it with you. So you're just using your voice. So his marker word is yes, and he knows that there's a treat coming. Yes. So this pinpoints exactly when he's doing the right thing, and he knows he's going to get rewarded for it, which helps with a lot of other things, not just agility, but it's a really good pinpoint to capture exactly what you like. Yes. So you don't have to use treats. Today we're only using Arlo's biscuits. He's on a special diet, so we need to make sure that that he's not going to get any of the bits and pieces that he can't have. So instead of using any preservative sort of treats, we're just using these bickies, and we've got some dried apple there for the harder stuff to help him out. So he's happy just to work for some biscuits. Some dogs you might have to up it a little bit, something smelly, some like prime roll, or even going to your smackos and that. So yeah, it doesn't have to be necessarily food. You can use your toys. It makes it a little bit harder because it's harder to pinpoint exactly when the dog's doing it right. You can't reward them as easily in position, and you'll see through these exercises how easy it is. Using food, you can mark it and you can reward it as they're doing the behaviour you like, whereas with a toy you can't really tug as you're going over a plank as much because they're not concentrating on what they're doing. They're going to be quite excited about the toy and wanting to play with that. So treats is a good way to start, so it keeps the dog nice and calm. They can think about what you're doing and what they're learning, opposed to the toys. Toys, they can come on later on. I use both treats and toys for my dogs, because they know exactly what's expected, and also I'm looking for a bit more drive and arousal from my guys in competition. But they all started with mainly treats to get them to do the right thing to start off with. Yes. Yes. So this is his new favourite word. So we do about 10 or so reps of that, and I'm going to wait for him to look away, just to make sure he's got a bit of an idea. Yes. Good. And he's looking back up at me when I'm saying that word. He knows he's going to get a treat. So we have done a bit of this work. We've done a bit when we've been out and about. So he knows his marker word. He knows the treat's coming. It marks exactly what I like. Okay, so the first thing with agility, it's not so much about the dog, but getting us doing the right thing. So we need to look at those handling skills. For those that have watched either our demonstrations or crafts or anything like that, you would notice people walking around or running like this with their arms out. So this is the way we maneuver the dogs around the course, as well as our verbal cues, but it's mostly physical. Most of this comes naturally to the dog, and they will follow you, but we've got to fine-tune a little bit. If we're going to change something, or we want to reinforce what these things mean, we need to show them what it's all about. So we're going to have a look at some handling skills first, and get Arlo understanding what I want when I'm using my body. So if I want my dog on my left, because I want to be able to work him on both sides, it's not like obedience. I don't want him just on my left. I want him to be able to work on both sides. So if I want him on my left, I'm going to have my left hand with my treat, and he's just going to follow that. And when he's following that, I'm just going to say, give him my marker, yes, and reward him, because that's all I want. I just want him to follow. Hello, good boy. Yes, good. All right, just making sure everyone can hear everything. Ah, fantastic, good. Just making sure. All right, hello. It's the hardest bit about all this is the technology. All right, so you can go on lead, off lead. Doesn't really matter. It's a little bit easier about the lead. We might use that later on. But we're just getting him to follow our hands. Yes, and we want to be able to do that on the left as well as the right. Yes. So there's a high rate of reinforcement, because I want him to enjoy working with me. Not about making him do anything. We want him to want to do this, because otherwise there's no point doing it. That's the main thing. All right, so we're going to have a look at a bit of a cross now. So we're going from our right hand, yes, and then we're going to turn back the other way and get him to follow our left hand. So this is what we call a front cross, and this is what we would do if we're changing direction on course. So nice and simple. Changing hand, dog turns towards me, and yes, because he's doing exactly what I like. So I'm setting him up for success. You can't really go wrong. He's not going to run off. I've got the treats right in front of his nose, and yes. Perfect. And one more. Back this way. Yes. Good. He says that's a bit boring. But then you can start to increase the pace, and then you can start to taking away the treats. So you might, I have my treats in my opposite hand now. Get it. Hello, boy. I'm just going to use my left hand. Yes! Swapping to that hand, and that's the hand I want to reward him from. So he's not following my treats. He's following my hand now. Hello. Yes! Here. Good boy. Here. Same again. Hello. Yes. Good. All right. So he hasn't done that before, so that's a nice quick progress of moving from using the treats to taking the treats away. So dogs will tend to pick that up pretty quickly with following your motion. In the meantime, they're also following your legs, your shoulders, and also your eye contact. So eye contact's got a lot to do with it. So if I'm using my right hand and I want him on my right, I'm going to be looking over my right shoulder. So eye contact is huge. So if he's coming out of a tunnel or something, and I want him to come to my right, I'm going to be looking back at him over my right shoulder with my hand out. And the same with my left. I'm going to be looking back, hand out. Hello. Good boy. Yes. All right, so nice and simple. All right, and next we can look at a rear cross. So if you've got a faster dog, like your border collies or something like that, you might not be able to keep up with them on course. Obviously, we're only doing little bits and pieces today. We're not running full course, but it's nice groundwork to be able to do with your dog. It's a nice simple one. So it's the opposite to our front cross. Hello. And that's moving away. So I'm, yes, crossing behind him. So I'm making sure he does it properly. Same with when we're teaching sits or drops. We want to make sure we get the behaviour first before we put a cue on it. So he's quite happy to turn away. So, good boy. So he doesn't get a reward for that one, but that's okay. Yes! All right, so he's turning away from me, so I'm crossing behind. Yes! All right, now that he's done it 3 times, I'm going to start to put a cue on it. You got an itch. Hello. All right, have a scratch. So the same thing with anything you teach dog. You want to make sure they're doing it comfortably first before you're adding your cue onto it. So he's moving. Hello. Oh, he's got an itch. Good boy. So moving away. I'm going to say back. Yes. Good boy. Back. Yes. Good boy. Good job. And rewarding from that inside hand again. All right, one more. Back. Yes. Good boy. And you can even teach him to spin, doing that as well. So that's a couple of the handling exercises that you can do just on the flat before we even introduce the obstacles. So in the meantime, we're doing a lot of reinforcing a lot of focus, having fun with our dogs. It's helping build that bond, especially when we start to go out and about. I want to have that nice connection with my dog, and I want him looking at me for guidance, and agility helps with that as well as confidence. All right, so the next thing is stays. So stays are a really handy thing to have. It's great for helping you teach some of these things rather than having someone in to hold your dog. I don't have anyone here today to hold my dog, so I'm going to have to be able to get him to stay for some of these exercises. And also as a start line, so before our agility run, I want him to be able to stay so I can get where I need to go before releasing him, and off we go. Alright, so I'm not sure how good his stays are. I haven't done any stays. Hello. Oh, he's got a real itch. He's got itchy tail. So he might have a bit of scratch. Hello. Good boy. Sit. Stay. Yes. Good. And starting off easy. Yes. So just like your basic obedience. Yes. You might have done a bit of this before. Yes. Good boy. Okay. Good. And that release word to let him know he can go. So I might say okay, or I might say the name of the first obstacle so he knows he can go to it. Better? Here's your tail. Alright, so another one. If your dog's not getting it, hello. Yes, you get to do that in a minute. Sit. Good boy. Stay. And just, yes. Just before he moves, so I'm setting him up for success. You might only be able to get to here and rock your body. Yes. Before your dog thinks, oh no, you're leaving me. Yes. Boy. Let's see if I can go a bit fast. Stay. Hey. Hello. Hello. Boy. Sit. Stay. Good. Okay. Hello. Okay. Come on. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. All right, and that's also going to help us with a couple more handling exercises on the flat. Yeah, so there's not much more that you do with a stay on course. We don't have a pause table anymore. We used to have a table where the dog would have to stay for 5 seconds. Good. Just making sure everyone can hear okay. Perfect. All right, grab some more treats. So mainly at the start of your agility run, you're going to be doing your stay, but obviously great for all-round obedience and teaching these exercises. When we start to look at some contact stuff, you might have a bit of a stay there depending on your criteria for the dog to touch the contact on the contact equipment. All right, so we're going to start to look at some jumps and hoops. So at home you might not have any agility equipment, and I'm not going to say go out and buy anything. Use some milk crates with a broom or a couple books with a broom. It doesn't matter. It's all about just doing something with your dog, or even just a hula hoop. There's a couple of cheap things through Kmart you can get. So we've got a wobble board today. That's just $5 from Kmart. Our little hoop, a couple cones. It doesn't have to be cones. You might just have something, a stake or something you can stick in the ground. It might even be your washing basket, even your kids. You send your dog around your kids for your handling practice. So you don't have to go out to buy any jumps or anything. You can look up how to make a jump at online. So you might get some PVC and make some. But it's not about how fancy the equipment is. Because it's not all about the speed and that at the moment. It's just about doing something fun with your dog. So jumps and hoops now. So start off with, it's not about the height. So he would probably be jumping about 500, so half a metre, but we're going to be nowhere near that today. So we might even start with our bar on the ground. Put on a bit of, just to get the idea, what do you want me to do? Go between those two things and over that. So I want to avoid having to go over it myself. Yes! Good. So what's this all about? It's a bit weird. Step over this thing. Yes! Good. So all that happens with getting the dog to do, hello, yes, the behaviour first, nice and steady, and then adding in your speed and confidence. Well, the speed will tend to come with the confidence. Yes, easy actually, revving it up a little bit. And if we got that stay, let's see how we go with stay. Boy, sit. Boy, stay. Hello. Okay. Yes. Good boy. It's going to help us set up to do that obstacle successfully. We can go back this way. Hello. Good boy. Stay. Okay. Yeah, good boy. Yeah. Says I just want to itch my tail. Good boy. So we might go up a little bit. He's doing that nice and successfully. Well, it's all about getting him. Yes, good boy. He's going to do it himself. Wasn't even ready. And up. Yes, good. So now I'm happy that he's doing it. I'm adding in the cue. Up. Yes, good boy. See if we add a little bit. Up. Yes, good boy. Good. So there's no point adding in lots of speed if they're not going to do it successfully. So we can start to bring that up higher, and yeah, 500 will be there, and that's probably what he would jump if he was to compete, but that's probably not his destiny. But just a little bit of fun, and over the coming days we might have a bit of a play with that and work our way up. Obviously there's lots of ways to jump a jump, and there's lots of handling involved with getting them to jump. So they're not necessarily always going over the jump in a straight line. They might be going over and coming back. So adding in our front cross, even with one jump, doesn't have to be a course, doesn't have to be two jumps. So up, good boy, and turning towards him. Good boy. Yes, good. And he's doing most of this naturally anyway. So up. Hello. He says, I want to itch his tail. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Try that one again. So I'm sending him over with my right, because that's the side I want him on. And then I'm going to, up. Good boy. Bring up my left, because I want to change direction to my left. Might be easier for you guys to see on this side. So starting on my left, up. Good boy. And then turning towards him and making sure he comes to my right. And that's a nice simple front cross with one jump. Obviously he's hit the bar, no big deal. He's still learning, so we're not worried about that at this stage. It's just about getting the confidence of what the jump's all about. Alright, so we'll put this one to the side, and we're going to look at some hoops. So this is a top jump. It's the same thing as the normal jump. We're starting nice and low, getting to do it successfully. It's exactly the same thing, but their body's going to have to go through the hole. So we can start with a little hoop just from Kmart. This is quite a small one. You can start with a big one. Hello. Good boy. Yes. And just getting comfortable going through this object. So yes, it's a little bit of confidence building as well. Some dogs might not be comfortable with something running across their back. Yes. You might just start with them putting their, get it, good boy, putting their head through and marking that. Yes. No body awareness. Look at that later. Hello. Through. Yes. Good boy. Through. Yes. Good boy. So he's nice and comfortable with going through this hoop. So we're going to do the same thing with our tie obstacle. So you don't have to give it a different name. I just use hup, but you can say through or tire. And you can use your opposite hand for this one, just makes it a little easier. Good boy. Yes, good boy. Yeah, so I don't mind that he's knocked that. He's as long as he's going through at this stage. Good boy. I'm not too phased about that. Obviously, once he gets the hang of it, oh, you're so clever. I'm not going to reward if he hits it, because that's at the end of the day what I don't want him to do. Yes, good boy. So I'm going to give him 2 for that one because he's done a nice little jump. 3. Yes, good boy. Oh, might be agility star yet. All right, a couple more. So obviously, you want to be able to handle it on both sides. 3. Yes, good boy. So on my left. Hello. Yes. So he's quite happy for me. Yes. To go to the other side and just use my same hand as I want him to go to, rather than trying to lure him through now. So that's good that we can start to work on that. But maybe just starting off with using your opposite hand. Hello. And luring him through first. And then obviously eventually you're going to be running past with your arm out, indicating your tire. So we're going to do some body awareness now. So as you can see, he's quite happy to hit the tire or the hoop. He has no real respect for the obstacles, which is fine. I don't mind that at the moment. As long as I want to make sure that he's got that body awareness before I'm adding in speed. Obviously for safety, I'm not going to make him go flat out if I know he's going to hook his leg on the hoop or hit the tyre. I don't want that. So looking at our body awareness. So our simple little wobble board. Doesn't matter, it might be an upside down plate, terracotta, pot base. The sturdier the better. I like the wobble board. It is not slippery, and also it moves a little bit, so I can build up some confidence with a moving object if I'm looking at going towards doing the seesaw and that sort of stuff. Alright, so hello. Yes! All I wanted him to do was put his front paws up. Hello. You itch that tail, don't you? Right. Step. Yes. Good boy. Good. So once he's nice and confident, just putting those front paws up, we can start to get him to move his bum. So this is the tricky bit. We're going to have the treat down there. Yes, I'm just going to reward him for putting in the effort of bending there. But I want him to eventually move his body to the side. So I want him thinking about those back legs. So another way to do that is you might have some PVC pipes and just putting them on the ground, or your big PVC pipes, making what we call some jump bumps and just getting them to step through that. You might make a ladder, you might use a ladder, just be careful it's not going to hurt their legs if they hit it, but slow and steady first, just getting them to think about those legs and connecting them to his brain, so when he's going flat out over a contact obstacle, he's not going to hurt himself. So just see if he's going to do a bit of step to the side. He has no idea what I want, so I'm just going to say yes. I'm just going to reward him for turning, and I just want his legs to move a little bit. That's all I want. Yes, I'm just going to reward him for a bit of putting in the effort. And obviously dogs are like us and they prefer one side more than the other, so you might find this one a little easy or not. Yes, good boy, that's what I wanted. So yeah, no idea what I wanted. I'm setting him up to do it, and then he gets a higher reward. So don't mind rewarding that bit of effort getting in there. Good boy. In the meantime, I'm working on a bit of flexibility for him. So getting him to turn when we start to work on the waves. Get it. Boy. So a tricky one. Yes, good boy. Okay, good. And always finish on a good note. He's done a nice little move there, and we want to be able to move both ways. So getting him to really think about those back legs. There's quite a few little tricks in that you can do as well. So your begging and backing up, your heel work, that sort of stuff's also good for getting him to think about where those back legs are. So we'll quickly, probably running out of time, have a look at the just checking all's good. Alright, have a go at, this is just a seesaw plank here. It's not wobbly or anything. Yes, good boy. He's never done it before, but obviously he likes it. But all we're going to do with that, and it can just be a plank, could be anything that's just a little bit risen. When you're out on your walks, you might go up some retaining walls or something. This is a great little confidence builder, so a lot of dogs might have some fear or anxiety with things, and we will confidence build by doing bits and pieces out on the walk. I have no idea what he's doing. He's just offering stuff. Maybe it's just so he doesn't get his bum wet on the grass. Good boy, very clever. Alright, so we're just doing up. Good boy, yes. Alright, he's obviously really confident with it. He's never done it, but he's just gone and tried it. So you might just start, okay, come on. Hello, good boy. You might just start with luring up. So some dogs are going to go, oh, that's a bit weird. You're not supposed to be so confident in this. You must make it look harder. Come on, good boy. You might start just with your luring. He doesn't mind. And you might start reward with one paw on, and then two paws on, and then getting them rest up. Certainly don't go and chuck your dog on top of it. You don't want them to be fearful about it at all. It's all about enjoyment and confidence. So always obviously fine with that. Hello. You can turn. Oh, very clever. Good boy. So he's got a bit of body awareness there, and being able to turn them on it as well, and teaching them that keeping their legs on there, hello, is the idea, is going to help with what you expect. Hello, come on. Come on. Here. Alright, so up. And I want him to be able to turn. Yes, good. And that might start with luring. He hasn't, obviously has a bit of an idea. Yes. Yes. Good. All right. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy again. It just might be a plank on the ground, plank of wood out of the shed, as long as it's safe. So that's a really important bit you're doing on there. Alright, so we're going to have a quick go at a couple bits and pieces, and I think we're going to have to call it time. So tunnel, you might have a little kiddie's tunnel, depends on the size of your dog. Something little for a smaller dog, doesn't have to be too robust. Obviously if you've got a fast dog and you're going to be going fast eventually, you might need something a little bit safer and sturdier. Alright. So what's the bet? He probably goes straight in here today. So he hasn't done this either. Hello, good boy. Come on. So obviously, oh, good boy. Yes! Good boy. Get. Obviously easier if you've got someone else. Yes! Holding it for you so you can call them. Hello. Come on. Oh, you're hot and bothered. Come on. Come on, get Vicky's. Come on. Good boy. Now. Obviously a lot easier if you can get someone holding your dog and you can call them through. Then you can start working on making it a curvy tunnel and making it longer. Hello. Just rolling around in there. Okay. Hello. I have to leave it out for him. He might want to play in there today. Good boy. He's got a real itchy tail. Alright, so we'll have a quick look at our weaves and a little bit more body awareness. And I think we're done. What are you doing? well, he's certainly not usually this quiet, so whether we've mentally drained him or if he just didn't have a good night's sleep. Alright, so agility has 12 weed poles. Dogma Centre with the first one on their left. So you can start with 2 or 4, doesn't matter. You can get them cheap off eBay or make them yourself, or even just some pipes in the ground like your fiberglass fence posts. And all you're going to do is just lure your dog through. Now, really important that you do it on both sides. So a lot of people will get stuck with just being able to do the weaves on one side, and even people that compete, their dogs only doing it on one side once they get to competition level, and it makes it very difficult. So we'll have a couple of reps with Arlo. Arlo, you're going to sleep well today, aren't you? So we'll start on this side so you can see. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Good. Obviously easy without the lead, but yes. Good boy. And obviously same as everything else, starting off nice and slow. Oops, sorry, mate. Yes. Good boy. And then adding in your speed, and then you can work up to your 12 poles. And that's how I taught all my dogs, is just luring through. Nothing fancy, and they've all got nice, fast, reliable weaves. One more thing, and this is a really good one for at home, because you can use anything. See that there? Yep. And that's just teaching them how to send around an obstacle, and that's really good for your front cross or for anything really. Hello. Alright, and you might say, so same again, make sure he's going to do it first, and then adding in your cue. Hello. Yes, good boy. So we're just going to say, out. Hello. Out. Yes. And this is also an exercise we use for our recalls as well, where we're, hello, sending them around an object, and then we'll run off and do our recall. Hello. Yes, good boy. And then we can have a quick look at our front cross. Alright, come on, hello. Good boy, last one. So round that one, closest hand to him. Out. Yes. He's been no-handed. And then changing to my right hand, sending him out with that one. Then I'm going to change hands here. So I'm just getting him to follow. Out. Good. My hand. Obviously it doesn't look all that spectacular now, but then we can start to add in some distance and some drive, and it's a lot of fun. One of my dog's favourite exercises. Yes! Good boy. Good job, buddy. Alright. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you learnt a thing or two about what you can do with your dogs at home in form of agility. Just pop any questions on the thing there. I'll just have a quick read through, and any I can answer right now, I will. And any other ones I'll just reply to later. So any questions at all? So are you doing a spot on this? We'll definitely be looking at doing some online classes properly through Zoom, whether it be agility, obedience, and I also want to do some puppy classes and general obedience. So with our general obedience, I'll probably use Arlo here and just demonstrate what it's like to do it with the dog with little foundation. He's got a bit of an idea about most things, but we'll look at that, and also getting a puppy and going through those very important socialisation stuff that we're finding very hard to get out and do at the moment, and being able to do a live online classroom would be a good way to show you how we can do different desensitization and socialization exercises just at home, as well as going out on your own and applying those protocols that we're having to follow at the moment. So yes, we will definitely be doing something like that. All right, well, fantastic, everyone. No other questions there. But yeah, just drop your any questions or any comments you like on there, and I can get back to you and comment and answer them for you. I hope you all enjoy the rest of the walk on the Wildside today. Looking forward to watching a couple of other videos myself and learning a thing or two. So hopefully we hear from you soon, and enjoy the rest of your day. Happy training, guys.